Beautiful stone. Cutting the Regent presented some fascinating problems, and the major one, of course, is the fact that of the 8 major culet or pavilion facets, the 4 corner facets, such as at the 4 o'clock address, the main facet runs all the way from the culet way up to the girdle. The other 4 facets are split, and they're dropped down, and then 2 girdle facets are imposed upon it, although it does corner up and reaches the girdle. So all 4, but the corner facets. And for that reason it's a little tough not only to cut, but to get a polish, because it's a long facet, and you've got to stay with it. And sometimes a little extra pressure and move it around. You might just have to cheat a little in order to bring it in. But this is one of the more challenging cuts. The Regent's a beautiful stone. It's regarded as one of the finest cut stones in the world. And for good reasons. It was cut well, cut smoothly, and as usual, and with many of the large stones, it is in the 4-fold symmetry. That is, that the facets on each row are 8 or 16. We have the same 16 facets around. If you look at it carefully, you can see that it's neither square nor round, but more somewhat comparable to an old miner cut in diamonds, but this is what's called a square cushion, because the dimensions, the width are the same. It runs for 140 carat stone. It really cuts well, and the lengthening the entire facet to reach from the culet all the way out gives the corners unusual fire and sparkle when you look down through them. Your crown facets were way up to 38 degrees, which indicates that it was cut for brilliance. As you flatten crown facets, you increase scintillation, sparkle. As you steepen the facets, you surrender sparkle and scintillation and gain white light return brilliance. So there's always a trade-off in diamond cutting as well as colored stone cutting. That's what makes a jamb peg so handy for cutting these, is all you have to do is move down 2 notches, change it, and you can have a change on the angle. You don't have to play around. You can feel it cuts smoothly, cuts evenly. That's the nice thing about a jamb peg, and why it's so possible to cut it by hand. The Regent is a challenging stone to cut, but it was an interesting and exciting challenge. The Regent. Beautiful stone. This illustrious stone is regarded as one of the finest and brightest diamonds in the world. It was featured in the 10 centuries of French jewelry in the Louvre in 1962. It started life when it was found by a slave at the Bartil mine in India. He stole it and then commenced the reputation, this is the deadly diamond. The slave hired out to a ship captain who murdered him, sold it, drank for the proceeds, and committed suicide. Later it was sold to British Thomas Pitt, who spent $25,000 in 2 years to cut it, and he finally sold it to the Duke of Orleans, who at that time was the regent of France under Louis XV. That's how it came to be known as the Regent diamond, and has been one of the top jewels in the French crown jewels. Marie Antoinette wore it. It was her favorite stone. She was decapitated. Stolen in 1792, it was recovered when they murdered the 2 thieves that took it. 1887 went back into the crown jewels and were sold, but not the Regent. During World War II, it was hidden on a farm, and then after the war was returned to the Louvre, where it now resides. It's one of the great diamonds in history.